So in continuation with the knee anatomy video series, so we have discussed the two menisci anatomy, we have discussed the anterior cruciate ligament. Now here in this video we will discuss about the posterior cruciate ligament or PCL. Starting with the origin and the insertion, so it originates from the posterior tibial sulcus. So this is a extra articular part of the proximal tibia tibial surface, which is the posteriorly known as posterior tibial sulcus. So it originates from the posterior tibial sulcus, then it runs proximally, anteriorly and medially to get inserted over the medial femoral condyle. So it gets attached to the anterolateral aspect of the medial femoral condyle. So as we can see here, the insertion on the femur, it is broad, it is crescent shape. And also we can see the two bundles. So we have the anterolateral bundle and the posteromedial bundle. So in case of the anterior cruciate ligament, it was anteromedial and the posterolateral bundle. So why the difference is in the names? Because of the insertion over the tibia. So their attachment over the tibia is different. Here this bundle, it is attached anterolaterally, while the second bundle is attached posteromedially. So this we are looking at the posterior aspect of the tibia, and similarly they get inserted over the anterolateral aspect of the medial femoral condyle. So we can see the two different attachments of the anterolateral and the posteromedial bundle. So this was about the origin and insertion. So we can see here, this is the tibial surface and this is the posterior tibial sulcus, which is the extra articular part, and it then runs proximally, anteriorly and medially to get inserted over the anterolateral aspect of the medial femoral condyle. So talking about the two bundles, so we have discussed the why the anterolateral and the posteromedial bundle, they are called so. Now the tightness, now anterolateral bundle, it is tight in flexion, so it performs its function in the flexion at 90 degree. So it prevents the posterior displacement of the tibia over the femur. And the posteromedial bundle, it is tight in extension, so it works in the extension, where it prevents the varus valgus angulation at the knee joint. Now anterolateral bundle, it is stronger, it is bulkier, and it is more important than the posteromedial bundle. And the posterior cruciate ligament in itself, it is 30% larger and bulkier than the anterior cruciate ligament. So in this diagram we can appreciate that in extension it is the posteromedial bundle which is taut and which is acting, and in flexion it is the anterolateral bundle which is taut and performing its functions. Now coming to the mechanism of injury, how the PCL will get injured. So we have the four different mechanisms of injury which are very different from each other. So firstly we have the direct blow to the anterior tibia. So if we are having a direct blow, posterior blow to the anterior tibia, then the posterior cruciate ligament can get injured. In cases of hyperextension injury, the PCL can get injured. In dashboard injuries, which is also a direct blow to the anterior tibia, the PCL can get injured. And very peculiar type of mechanism of injury where the knee is in hyperflexion and the foot is in plantar flexion. So this type of injuries, the posterior cruciate ligament can also get injured. So it get injured in hyperextension injury also, and also in the hyperflexion injuries, the posterior cruciate ligament can get injured. Now talking about the arterial supply, so similar to the ACL, it is supplied by the middle geniculate artery. Now the various tests to perform to detect the posterior cruciate ligament injury. So first is the varus valgus stress test. So this is similar to the test we perform for the MCL and the LCL injury detection. So we perform this test at 2 degrees of flexion. So first is done at 0 degree flexion, means in full extension. So in full extension, if there is a varus and valgus opening up of the joint, that means other than the MCL and the LCL, the PCL is also injured. But if the laxity is only at the 30 degree of flexion, that means that only the MCL and LCL is injured. And if laxity is not present at the 0 degree, that means that PCL is not injured. So that means we will perform the test first at the 30 degree to detect the MCL and LCL is injured. Then we repeat at 0 degree to detect the injury of the PCL. Now talking about the second test is the posterior sag sign. So normally the tibia is anterior to the 90 degree of flexion at the knee joint. The anterior shin of the tibia, it is anterior to the femur by about 10 mm. So in various degrees, various grades of the injury, the anterior tibia, it sags behind, known as the posterior sag sign. So this tibial step off, which we can feel by palpation, it is missing in grade 1, and in grade 3 the proximal tibia, it completely sags down. Talking about the third test is the quadriceps active test. So again in 90 degree of flexion at the knee joint, we ask the patient to extend the knee joint against resistance by our hand. So when the patient will try to extend the knee joint by contracting the quadriceps, this posterior displacement will get reduced by the pull of the quadriceps. So this will again detect the posterior cruciate ligament injury. A very important test is the posterior draw test, which is similar to the anterior draw test. So in posterior draw test, again hip at 45 degree of flexion, knee at 90 degree of flexion, we will apply a posterior directed force to detect the posterior cruciate ligament injury. And last test, which is done in prone position, is known as dial test. So this is again a test to detect the posterior cruciate ligament injury along with the posterior lateral corner injury. So we have the various structure in the posterior lateral corner. So they can get injured other than the posterior cruciate ligament injury. So this dial test is performed in prone position. So patient is lying prone here, and we will perform the external rotation of the foot in various degrees of the knee flexion. So firstly, we will perform when the knee is flexed to 30 degree, we will perform the external rotation of the foot. So if there is asymmetry between the two foot at a 30 degree of flexion, and asymmetry is more than 10 degree, that means there is a posterior lateral corner injury. And we will again perform the test at 90 degree of flexion. Here in 90 degree of flexion at the knee joint, we will perform the external rotation of the foot. Now if again there is asymmetrical increase in external rotation on the injured side by more than 10 degree, that means that along with the posterior lateral corner injury, there is a posterior cruciate injury also. But this is only at the 90 degree of flexion, while at 30 degree of flexion, it is only the PLC injury. So we need to differentiate between the PLC and the PCL injuries. So this was an overview about the posterior cruciate ligament injuries.